What's up guys, in today's video I'm going to talk to you about the basics of calculating your daily calorie requirements along with your macronutrient breakdown in order to help you to achieve your goals. Now this is quite a complex topic, so I'm going to try and keep it simple and break it down in simple steps so that you can go off and do it by yourself. The first thing you need to do is have some understanding of what your current eating habits are like. Now quite a lot of people out there track their calories on a daily basis and they know what it is on average they consume in terms of calorie intake, protein, fats and carbs and so on, okay? But there are quite a lot of people out there who have never done this before, or at least they haven't done it for a while, so they have no idea how many calories on average they're eating and so on, and the macronutrient breakdown. So what they need to do is start making a log of it. For 5 to 7 days, track every single thing that they eat, work out the total calorie breakdown of each day along with the macronutrient breakdown, so you have some idea what it is on average your totals are. The second thing you need to do is have some kind of understanding of what your current body composition is and what your goals are moving forward. Okay, so for most people, you should really either be looking to build muscle, put on some size, or start off by dropping some body fat before you can look to really put some size on. Okay, generally speaking, if you're 12% body fat or higher, you should probably focus on bringing your body fat down first before you look to grow. And for those people who are drastically low in terms of body fat, if you're less than 7% or lower, then you should probably focus on putting on some size. Now when we move on to step 3, this is where it gets a little bit complicated, but let's just keep it very simple. Based upon the results from step 1 and step 2, you're going to set your targets, your daily calorie intake requirements along with your macronutrient breakdown. So let's say for example, you're on average consuming around 2,500 calories per day. If you want to grow, you're going to need to consume more than this. If you want to cut, you're probably going to need to consume less than this. This is very, very simple terms which I'm speaking of. It's a lot more complicated than this, but that's, say for example, you got your calorie targets for the day, then you need to decide, okay, how much protein am I going to consume? How many fats? How many carbs am I going to consume? Generally speaking, again, protein requirements should be reasonably high because you want to be obviously building muscle mass, or at least preserving it as much as possible if you're going to cut. A decent guideline would be to consume at least 2 grams per kilogram of total body weight. Okay, so say for example, if I weighed 100 kilograms, my protein requirements would be 200 grams of protein per day. The remaining calories are going to be made up from either carbohydrates or fats. Now in my opinion, I don't think you should go too low on either end. You shouldn't go too low carb or too low fat. Okay, I think generally a combination of both tends to do the job, but you will find some individuals out there function better off a higher fat, lower carb diet, both mentally and physically, whereas for other people it's the opposite. Okay, but you won't know yet until you've tried it out and tested a few different approaches. Now I would like to say that quite a lot of people tend to get a little bit stressed out when it comes to meal timing and frequency, but we're not going to worry about that to begin with. Let's just stick to the basics. Okay, as long as you're getting in 3 to 4 meals per day, you're going to be doing okay. Okay, so don't stress out and think, oh, I've got to eat every 2 hours, because you don't. Now, if you want to gain a greater level of understanding as to what your macro requirements are for your body, you need to be consistent with it. You can't keep changing things around on a frequent basis, otherwise you'll have no idea what approach is going to work best for you and your body. Okay, so to begin with, if you need to consume the same macros every single day for a couple of weeks on end in order to track how your body changes, then that's something you need to do. You can't just be on and off with it, okay? Like a lot of people do, 5 days of the week, they'll stick to it, but then on the weekend they go on a mad binge and eat a load of crap. It's not going to be a very good indicator of what your body needs in order to progress, okay? So be consistent and don't go too crazy with trying out loads of different approaches. Say for example, one day going on an extended fast and having 500 calories, another day having a massive surplus, you know, going up and down, macros all over the place. You're not really going to understand what approach works best for you. So just keep it simple, be consistent and track the results. Generally speaking, if your goal is to lose body fat, you can be aiming to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week, okay? Or, you know, 0.5 to 1 kilograms per week. But this is going to be highly dependent upon what your starting point is. So say for example, someone is at 25% body fat, they're going to see a greater rate of fat loss compared to someone who is, say for example, at 12% body fat. And the same thing goes for if you're growing or you're looking to put on size. Generally speaking, you should be aiming to gain 0.25 to 0.5 pounds of weight, total weight per week, which is roughly 0.1 to 0.2 kilograms. But again, it's going to depend upon your starting point. So if you are a beginner, you're going to see a greater level of muscle gain and growth compared to somebody who is already an experienced trainer. But generally speaking, it should be slow and it should be gradual. Rapid weight loss or rapid weight gain is generally not a sustainable approach, and it's a recipe for disaster. In other words, you're either going to sacrifice a lot of muscle mass or you're going to add too much body fat in the process. Now, once you've mastered the basics, you've tracked your results, and you've gained a great level of understanding as to what your macronutrient requirements are and calorie intake requirement is, then you can afford to experiment a little bit more. Okay, you can try different approaches, whether it might be keto, paleo, carb backloading, carb cycling, or even just changing your calorie intake and macro split based upon your daily activity levels. Say, for example, with myself, on a rest day, I tend to drop my calories a little bit, I bring up my fats and I lower my carbs. I keep protein the same. On training days, I'll massively increase my carbs and lower my fats, particularly if it's a leg day, because leg days I tend to burn the most calories. Now, here's where things get a little bit more complicated. You know how I said before, you want to be in a calorie surplus if you want to put on size, calorie deficit if you want to lose body fat. This doesn't always take into account someone's metabolism, okay? Here's where things get complicated. Now, I work with a lot of people, and it's very common to see, particularly within males, they're just simply not consuming enough in the first place. In my opinion, they're just drastically under-consuming. So I've been working with this one male client of mine who came to me, and he was consuming on average around 1,400 calories per day, and this is what his physique looked like. Okay, now in my opinion, that's just simply nowhere near enough calories to sustain and maintain a decent physique, because his body is basically trying to protect him and stop him from dying, so it slowed that metabolism right down. So in order to lose further body fat, he's going to have to do more activity on a weekly basis, so bump his cardio right up, or he's going to have to cut calories further. But if you're cutting calories less than 1,400 calories, that's going to be really dangerous. Okay, you're going to mess up your hormone production, you can feel terrible, and your recovery is going to be awful. Okay, so this person came to me and he said, I want to have a physique like you almost. I want to put on some size and I want to look leaner. There's no way you can do that on 1,400 calories. You just can't. Okay, so instead of having a goal of losing body fat or building muscle, you got to forget about that. The first thing you need to focus and prioritize on is building up your metabolism, so getting your body used to consuming more calories. Now, to begin with, the thought of eating more food was quite alarming for him, because he thought he was going to gain weight. Okay, he was going to gain body fat, and second of all, he didn't have the appetite to eat more food anyway. Generally wasn't that hungry. So it's not as if I could take him from 1,400 calories straight up to 2,400, because it would have been such a shock to him in terms of trying to fit all that food in, and just for his body as well. His body would not be used to consuming that many more calories in such a short period of time. He probably would have gained quite a lot of body fat in the process. So the key was to very slowly make these changes over a long period of time. And you can see at this point now, he's consuming around 2,500 calories per day, and he's looking better than he did beforehand. And what we're going to continue to do is to build up his metabolism a little bit more before we then go into a cut, start to drop his calories. And because his body's used to consuming a lot of calories in the first place, it's going to be very easy, or he's going to be in a much more suitable position to lose body fat. Now, this is one of the reasons why I don't agree with those macro calculators, okay, the ones you find on the internet where you put all these stats in and it tells you this is what you need to eat on a daily basis. Okay, the problem with them is they're just so generic and they don't take into account a number of different factors. Okay, so I'll have somebody come up to me and they say, you know what, I've tracked all my calories and everything, I've put all my data into these formulas, and MyFitnessPal, whatever it might be, has told me I need to be consuming 2,000 calories a day, but no matter what I do, I'm just not gaining weight. And I'm like, okay, well, you probably need to be consuming more. Have you thought about that? Eating more calories? That's probably what you need to do. The same goes for somebody, in this example with my client. If I'd put all the data into a generic calculator, probably would have told him, you need to be consuming 2,500 calories. But for him to go from 1,400 to 2,500 overnight on a daily basis, he's not going to look good. He's probably going to gain a lot of body fat, and it's just going to be a shock for him. He's not going to be able to eat that amount of food because he's not used to it. So you need to understand that these macro calculators are more of a guideline than putting it in black and white saying this is what you have to consume, okay? It's more of a guideline. And you also need to understand as well, sometimes they might be right. You actually might be given the correct number of calories which you should be consuming in order to reach your goals, along with a macronutrient breakdown. But the reason that you're struggling to hit your goals or to see any results is not because of your calorie intake, but it's other external factors. So, say for example, if you're getting poor quality sleep, or you're not getting enough sleep, if you spend your whole day completely stressed out with elevated cortisol levels, that's not going to be ideal, okay? If you are not hydrated, if your training program sucks, or the training program itself is good, but the way you execute it isn't good enough, okay? Your exercise technique is terrible, or your training intensity is poor, okay? There's a whole load of factors which are also going to affect your rate of progress, so you need to have a look at them, as well as the food which you're consuming, the types of food, your macro split, and your calorie intake. Okay, there's so many factors which are going to determine your rate of progress. So there we go. I hope this video has been of some assistance to you guys. I know it's quite a meaty topic and subject where I have the potential to rant on for ages, but I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, trying not to overcomplicate things, okay? You just need to keep it to the basics, okay? Pick a goal, okay? Track your calories, be consistent with it, set some targets, see how your body changes over time, okay? If your body does change the way you want it to change, then good, you're doing something right. If it doesn't, then you need to adjust something, okay? It might be within your macros, but it might be some other external factors as well, okay? You need to be placing your body in a suitable environment which is going to help to promote fat loss, muscle gain, whatever your goal is, okay? So thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.